This is Telling Our Stories Part 3, Writing a 10-Minute Play, and TRL Resources. In this section, we'll go over a 10-minute play definition and outline, playwriting responsibilities for the 10-minute play, what a staged reading is, playwriting resources and lesson plans, and how to join the Georgia Department of Education communities.
Writing a 10-minute play. No one sits down and writes a finished play. It isn't possible. The theater is a collaborative art which requires feedback and input from others. In order to get feedback, an outline and first drafts of a scene have to be created. Writing the outline and first drafts of a play can be overwhelming when considering the finished process at the start. For this reason, if students focus on accomplishing one goal at a time, they will eventually arrive at the point of having working drafts that can be ready for the next stage of public feedback and revision. Before we begin, there's a simple breakdown to consider about the 10-minute play. A 10-minute play encompasses a complete journey for the character from the inciting incident through achieving or abandoning their central objective. The structure fits within the confines of a 10-page play with the following general guidelines. Pages 1 to 2, exposition and inciting incident. Pages 3 to 6, rising action. Pages 6 to 8, climax. Pages 9 to 10, falling action and denouement. This is not written in stone as a rule, but it's a great guideline that will help craft a plot that has a fully developed structure without running over the goal of 10 minutes. It's also recommended that you stick to one single location and focus your attention on 2 to 5 characters. The great thing about playwriting is you can break all of those rules, but often students need structure early on before they start exploring those non-structured outlines. In order to achieve the goal of having a draft script ready for feedback, we need to look again at the role of the playwright. Now, the playwright is responsible for the following: selecting a subject, determining a focus and emphasis, establishing a purpose, establishing a point of view and a genre, developing dramatic structure, creating dramatic characters, and shaping dramatic language. While this information is aimed at students to help them understand how they can go through and create a play, it's a good idea as the instructor to also every time engage in this process with them. Whenever the teacher can do exactly what the students are doing, it builds trust between them and keeps the teacher fresh and generating new art. Selecting a subject. Selecting a subject might be the most important aspect of writing the play. It is crucial that the appeal of your subject matter come from a personal connection with it. F. Scott Fitzgerald famously said, "You don't write because you want to say something, you write because you have something to say." It is not possible to win the war of cliché writing without having a personal connection to the topic, because the subsequent task of writing will require personal research of memory, research of your own imagination, and research of fact. This is only motivated if you have a connection to the topic. One of the great things about doing some of the earlier writing exercises as a class and giving feedback back and forth before you move into the stage of physically writing a 10-minute play is that you will have developed a series of characters and ideas. One of those ideas, even if it's not your own, might have sparked a particular journey you might want to explore. Number 2, determine a focus and emphasis. Once your subject is determined, you will need to become more specific. It's impossible to write the whole story of the whole topic about anything. Much like the process of narrowing down a specific topic for a research project, you need to narrow down your focus and emphasis. Which part of your larger topic will you explore in the play? Establishing a purpose. What do you want to explore about the focus and emphasis? What do you want the audience to experience? Why? To that end, you will need to determine the point of view and the genre. Establishing point of view. Who is the protagonist? Whose story do we follow? It is useful to have one true protagonist. In terms of conflict, whose fight are we empathizing with? How does this serve the overall goal and purpose? You may begin the process of drafting out characters based on simple analysis questions at this stage. Selecting a genre. What genre of play do you wish to write? Comedy, drama, docudrama, classical tragedy, so on. In order to make this determination, it's also helpful to consider what you want the audience to experience in the play. Some genres are better at achieving some goals than others. For this reason, you might want to research genres. The playwright should actually read and document scenes from plays that fit the styles that they are interested in. As you determine the genre, you will inherently be looking at aspects of dramatic storytelling, such as character types, settings, and potential events that would fit the genre and story you're exploring. At this stage, you may begin the process of brainstorming one or two outlines of solid plot possibilities. This does not need to include all of the scenes and the rising action, falling action, or even the details of what occurs to cause the climax, but rather the simplest description of the turning point moments, inciting incident, climactic points, general idea of a final resolve. And last but not least, plot, events, acts, and scenes. So during this phase, consider all of the possible events you would like to include in order to arrive at your previously considered plot points. Think in terms of locations and actions. Remember that playwriting is not the same as screenwriting. You have limitations based on the living audience setting. Don't be discouraged from thinking outside the box, though. Creative dramatic dialogue can go a long way to achieve seemingly impossible goals. Once the actions have been determined, it's time to divide the events into acts and scenes. Use the Freytag pyramid to formally map out the number of scenes. This can be done on note cards or rearranged until they fit a plot structure that you prefer. Strong plot lines have many things in common. Despite differences in tone or genre, there is a momentum that keeps the plot moving from one point to the next. Usually, this momentum is created by having characters with clear objectives that they are pursuing through the play. Strong plot lines also include meaningful conflict, where multiple characters are invested in the outcome of the conflict. Characters. At this point, out of necessity, you will have begun to discuss characters that will be needed in this series of events. Fully explore the character analysis questions and guideposts for each of the characters in your play. Dialogue. In order to start this, it really is just important to put the pen to the page. Using writing exercises from earlier in the unit, or drafting monologues from the perspectives of particular characters, or even improvising scenes and confrontations that must occur in the script, and then writing down the best of that improvisation is a great way to get started. You should spend several days coming up with active dialogue and unique voice of specific characters for each scene. As scenes are written, they should be read aloud and self-assessed, then edited, and when satisfied, the scenes or series of scenes that you're ready to share should be given for public feedback. Ultimately, you want a final staged reading of the whole 10-minute play. Once the script is complete, the next stage is to produce a rehearsed staged reading of the entire play for public feedback. This process is slightly different from the reading of the scripts for individual feedback when you're reading just small sections. The formal staged reading is a rehearsed presentation of the play for a live audience. This is often followed by a talkback, where the audience is guided through a critical response process. For more detailed information on the critical response process, please take a look at our video on critiquing with kindness, where we look through Liz Lerman's approach to critiquing a work in progress. Much of the same preparation and procedures go into a fully staged production that go into a staged reading. The participants in a staged reading. A good staged reading will require the following. A director will interpret the text and lead a cast through a cohesive unpacking of the text and help to make choices for the way in which the reading will be presented to the audience. Preferably, the director is not the playwright, though sometimes it is. It is crucial that the playwright is comfortable with the choice of the director. The director is responsible for the casting and decision-making with regards to the performance of the text. Actors. Each character should be played by different actors if possible. The actors will rehearse and read the dialogue from a seated position. A stage manager. All notes, decisions, and technical concerns that grow out of the rehearsal process are documented by the stage manager for implementation during the performance. Stage directions and scene titles should be read aloud during this rehearsed performance. This is often done by the stage manager. There are many lessons located in the TRL, or the teacher resource link, available on the GaDOE website. We're going to take a look at some of the screenshots of the available resources related to playwriting in multiple classes. You can download this PDF from the GaDOE Fine Arts website under Theater Resources. This is from Acting 1, Lesson Plan 1, the 10-minute play. There are resources here and writing exercises that you might use in order to go about crafting a 10-minute play or prepping for a 10-minute play. Some of the very same exercises that we've done in this particular webinar are here. I invite you to go take a look at that in the advanced drama class. In Theater Fundamentals, there is an entire unit, Unit 4, aimed at introducing playwriting. Grades 6, 7, and 8, there are multiple units. In grade 6, it is Unit 6. The entire unit is focused on script writing. The focus of the 6th grade class really is on writing monologues and scenes. For the 7th grade class, it moves into the difference between a book and a play, and then some plot structure and script writing exercises. And then for 8th grade, it moves into a script writing plan. Again, the difference between a book structure and a play structure, plot structure, and script writing exercises. These also come with resources that help a student map out a full 10-minute play. And then dramatic writing, the entirety of dramatic writing could be used, or pieces could be used for introducing playwriting or playwriting exercises in a classroom. But there is an entire unit on script writing. That is Unit 2. This is Plays and Playwriting. It has a great deal of exercises in PowerPoint. So what I'd love you to do now is to pause the video and go into the TRL, click through some of these links, compare a few, see if there are any that work for you. I'd love to know what you're doing in your classroom. Are there any of these resources that could be used that you find useful, or you have something that would be incredible to share in the community? The point of these communities absolutely is to spark dialogue between teachers across Georgia. Thank you so much for registering and downloading this webinar. Please feel free to leave thoughts in the communities and let us know what is useful for you, and let us know if there's anything you would like to see in the future.
This is Telling Our Stories Part 3, Writing a 10-Minute Play and TRL Resources.
Do you oftentimes feel lonely in your school building or district as a fine arts educator?
Do you find it hard to feel supported by teachers and administrators who don't fully understand our specialized fine arts content areas?
Do you ever wish there was support, guidance, and even encouragement from other fine arts teachers and fine arts administrators from across the state of Georgia?
Do you crave collaboration and connection with other like-minded fine arts teachers? Then we have the perfect place for you. Hey everyone, and welcome to GaDOE Community. My name is Casey Hall, and I am one of the Fine Arts Education Program Specialists here at the Georgia Department of Education. For most content areas, there are teams of teachers either in the school building or in the district that can provide one another with ways to collaborate, support, and connect so that they do not feel alone. However, for some fine arts teachers, we are often the only teacher in the school building and sometimes even in the district who teaches our specialized fine arts content areas. So it can sometimes feel rather lonely and difficult to find a community of teachers in our schools and districts that truly understand our unique perspective. With that being said, the Fine Arts team at the Georgia Department of Education wanted to offer fine arts teachers across the state of Georgia an opportunity to collaborate and connect. On GaDOE Community, fine arts teachers will be able to join groups of like-minded teachers who also teach their unique and specialized fine arts content areas to share thoughts, resources, strategies, and encouragement as a way of professional learning so that no one would have to feel alone. So what is GaDOE Community? It's a platform that has been developed by the Georgia Department of Education as a way to provide content-specific professional learning communities, or PLCs, for teachers across the state of Georgia to collaborate, connect, and support one another on a virtual platform. Much like social media platforms where you can join various groups on topics you are interested in, GaDOE Community offers teachers the chance to join communities of like-minded teachers in their own specific content areas to provide support and guidance, share ideas, resources, and strategies, and offer encouragement as needed for one another. So where do we sign up? It's easy. Head over to the GaDOE Community website at community.gadoe.org and create an account using your district, RESA, or DOE email account to be approved. Once you've logged in, take some time to explore the platform. Check out some of the cool collaboration features such as the newsfeed, where all of the activity on GaDOE Community is housed, much like a social media activity feed. Make your profile look awesome by uploading a professional picture of yourself, adding your nickname or handle, as well as any other information you'd like to add. Be sure to click on Groups and search for the Fine Arts community groups in which you'd want to join. If you get lost, check out the user guide for additional information on the platform.
Side effects of GaDOE community include happiness, support, prosperity, collaboration, stress relief, joy, networking, peace of mind, guidance, euphoria, new friends, optimism, connection, prosperity, strong support system, advice when needed, new opportunities, professional growth, and much, much more.
If you have any questions or need additional support in navigating the GaDOE community platform or creating an account, be sure to contact me either by using my email address below, or once you've created an account, message me on the platform and I'll respond to you as soon as I can. I can't wait to connect with you on the GaDOE community platform, and I'll hopefully see you there soon. Thanks, everybody.
For additional questions, please contact the Fine Arts team, Jessica Booth, Paul McLean, Casey Hall.